Hey, welcome back to Guided by Faith. I'm your host, Jay Holland. We are so close to ending this month of looking at the book of Proverbs each day, just one or two verses each day. Today I'm bringing you 3 whole verses, but they all go together. Let's jump into them. And don't forget to leave a review or rating or hit the follow button if you haven't done that yet. But that would be really helpful for me if you would do that. Proverbs chapter 30, verses 7 through 9 says, 2 things I ask of you. This is somebody asking a prayer of God. 2 things I ask of you. Deny them not to me before I die. Remove me far from falsehood and lying. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that is needful for me, lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of God. So what is this all about? What I see here is this is a prayer asking for contentment. This is a prayer about contentment, asking God, Lord, don't give me too much, because if I get too much, I might be boastful and haughty and think that I did it myself, but don't give me so little that then I feel desperate and the need to steal or take from other people. And I would venture to say that most of us listening, me talking and most of us listening, probably are in the area of having too much versus too little. But because of the standards of comparison that we use, we feel like, if I had just a little bit more, then I would be satisfied. I want you to think about that. Think about, like, if you can, the last 2 or 3 Christmases. And what was that big thing that you wanted? And if I just get that big thing, then I'll be content. I remember, you probably don't, but I remember when the first iPhone came out, and it was revolutionary because I had at that time, I had like a Motorola Razr flip phone, and I had an iPod, which were the things that played music before iPhones. And then I had a computer, like a desktop computer. And all of a sudden this commercial came out that the iPhone is your iPod in a telephone and has the ability to be a computer as well. And it's like, oh my gosh, if I get the iPhone, I could never want for anything again. This will be the phone for me forever. But then what happens? The iPhone 2 comes out, and then the iPhone 3, and then the 3S, and then the 4, and then the 4G. And they just kept adding things that, like, if I get this thing, then it'll be great. And now what are we on? 16, 18, I can't even keep track anymore. But what I do realize is this mentality of thinking that just a little bit more is going to make me satisfied is truthfully a lie from the pit of hell. But if you can just, Lord, don't give me too much, please, because I may get proud. Don't give me too little to where I'm like tempted to steal. But give me just enough so that this is what Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount. He says, pray, give us this day our daily bread, not give me a barn full of grain for the next 10 years, but daily bread. And when you look in your life, has God given you what you need for today? If the answer is yes, then what makes you think that he's not going to give you what you need for tomorrow? Our culture tells you to crave more, but wisdom, God's word, says, pray, God, give me enough to trust you fully. As I was thinking about this, there was a quote. I was just looking up different quotes on contentment, and one of them that really stood out to me, and I couldn't find the source of it. So we're going to say it's anonymous. If you know the source, let me know. Contentment is not the fulfillment of what you want, but the realization of how much you already have. Contentment is not the fulfillment of what you want, but the realization of how much you already have. One of the things that I practiced for a time this year was a gratitude journal. And so how I did this, and I would encourage you, this would be a great exercise for you in the middle of the summer where you have a little bit more free time. As a part of my daily Bible reading, I just had kind of a little journal. It was pretty cheap. Like, you don't have to buy a fancy journal for it. And there was about 15 lines a day. And I made myself just discipline myself, write down 15 unique things each day that I'm thankful for. And I did this for like 30 days. And I don't think that I repeated the same thing twice. And as I'm writing, I start realizing I am rich in material goods. I am rich in relationships. I am rich in life experience. I am rich in my salvation and all of the benefits of my salvation. I'm just like, I am filthy rich in life and I don't pay attention to it very much. And I want to. And what I noticed was as I was doing this regular daily gratitude journal, my wants started to lower. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I want breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I don't want to just pile up things because I actually have all that I need. What I want to do is notice what God's given me and be thankful for it. So my encouragement to you, what do you do with today? I would encourage you, why don't you take this next month, try it for a day, try it for a week, but make it a regular practice, 5-10 things a day that you write in your gratitude list of thanking God. Be specific. There was like 2 or 3 days in a row where I just thanked God for various body parts that I have. My elbow, like, have you ever thought about how difficult it would be to scratch your nose if you didn't have an elbow? I want you to try it right now. Just, make your arm real stiff. Try to scratch your nose. Can't do it without your elbow. I guess you can use your shoulder, but that's inconvenient. It's hard to eat. Thank God for your wrist. Thank God for your fingers. Thank God for your eyes. Thank God for your ears. These are all things that are marvels of God's creation that we forget. So make it a daily habit for a while, especially if you feel discontent or left out or like everybody has more than you. Start practicing a gratitude journal and realizing that God has probably given you far more than you ever dreamed. You're still allowed to ask for things. You're still allowed to pray, but you don't want to be consumed by it. I want to be consumed by thankfulness, not greediness. And that's my prayer for you as well. So hope this was helpful to you. And we'll come back tomorrow. And I think that's the last chapter in Proverbs. We've got 2 days left. I'll show you something special for Friday, but come back tomorrow so we can finish out Proverbs together.